This episode is all about digital marketing, from how to become an influencer in your space to what tools can be used to help you save time when posting to social media platforms. If you want to be known by more people as the go-to person in your space, then tune in to this episode with digital marketing guru James Hickey. You're listening to the Badass is the New Black podcast. I'm Chrissy Chin, your host, here to teach you how to build an online business that you love and in a way that allows you to work a little bit less so you can enjoy a whole lot more. My hope is that you've showed up to today's episode ready to learn something new and will be inspired to take imperfect action in your business right away. I won't make you wait any longer. Let's dive in. Let's welcome James Hickey to the podcast. He's one of the top leaders in the digital and social media marketing industry. He provides his clients with a proven digital and social media marketing plan for retail businesses, startup companies, and entrepreneurs. He's spoken all over the world and now also trains individuals to become digital marketing consultants. James, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi. Good morning from San Diego.
Love it. Love it. I'm excited to talk to you today. I know you have just an extensive background in this digital marketing space. You've worked with a lot of different clients, like I've mentioned, retail space, so brick and mortar, entrepreneurs. So having that diverse background of working with a lot of people, I know you have a ton of knowledge. So I'm excited to dive in and let's start with your story. Okay. Kind of how you got here, where you are today. Yeah. Most of the people that come on, they didn't start this. This wasn't their very first job, building an online business. So let's hear it.
Right. For example, the internet at the level that we're using it now has really only been around for like 15 years now, or 12 or 15, where people are getting into it. But for me, I was a very young entrepreneur and I got in the gas station business. And I actually bought my first gas station when I was 28 years old. And then by the time I was 35, I had 6 gas stations, 5 in San Diego and 1 in Lake Tahoe. And somewhere along the line, I just learned I was an entrepreneur because I never went to college. And I just had some, street smarts or entrepreneurial spirit. So I got to the point in, I guess we call it the 2000s, and there was this auto repair marketing boot camp. So I went to the boot camp and there was Dan Kennedy and Bill Glazer. Dan Kennedy is one of the biggest copywriters out there, and Bill Glazer is part of it. So for a couple of years, I joined up with these guys and I started learning about marketing to market my auto repair businesses. And it was good stuff, but I really started to get into the marketing end of it. And then I actually read the book, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, by the pool, the entrepreneurial myth. And that's when my life changed on me, because that's when I realized I was an entrepreneur. I don't know if have you read that book?
I haven't read it.
Well, in a nutshell, I'll tell you the 3 parts of it. In the beginning, there's the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. And the technician will, say for a repair shop or maybe a bar, they'll just stay in the bar and they'll work they'll bounce around the different bars, but they'll stay in that profession for a while. They're comfortable with that. Then there's a manager, white picket fence, they stay forever. For example, the last station that I had in Point Loma, my manager is still there, almost 18 years later, he's still there. So, and then there's an entrepreneur. He's the one who thought of starting the business, and all he can think about is opening the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. And I'm reading this book going, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur. But it opened my eyes because I was trying to run my business doing all 3. I was trying to be the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. And once I realized that those weren't my 2 jobs, I shifted my mindset. Mm-hmm. So I slowly got out of the gas station business in the mid 2000s, 2005, 2007. The industry changed on me. I was doing auto repair and tune-ups, brakes, and smog checks, and everybody else was turning their gas stations into, selling cigarettes and cupcakes and pizza and fountain drinks. All right, so slowly became a dinosaur. So I saw the writing on the wall, loved the marketing part of it, knew I was an entrepreneur. So 2007, I started searching online, start internet business, make money online kind of thing. And I came across a company called Carbon Copy Pro. And there's a lot of top marketers out there. I could rattle off a good 10 or 12 names we all started that company together. And that's where I met Jeff Lerner, actually. That's how I met you, is through Jeff.
Yeah.
So I joined them in 2007, and they were teaching me internet marketing on how to resell their digital products. And I was doing it for a while. And then I started learning at a pretty high pace. And then my girlfriend at the time was a realtor. And I'm like, Jane, let me help you with your real estate marketing. So, because I was doing selling these courses. So I ended up making her the top agent in her office. And then 2 other agents like, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know. My boyfriend, Jim, is in marketing now. Can we pay Jim? So I ended up charging them $750 a month each. Then her boss came to me. I see what you're doing for the girls. What will you charge to run all 60 agents? Wow. And that's when the light bulb went off in my head. I was like, I have a new career choice, Yeah. Back it was called internet marketing back then, but once I knew, like, if I could do real estate and I could generate leads for a real estate office, I could do anything. And then with my entrepreneurial mindset and change, and then sticking with that company, which is surrounding myself with other top internet entrepreneurs, it shifted the way I thought of things. So for a couple of years, I was taking on clients, real estate, startups, some bars, restaurants. And then in 2000, these 2 guys walk in my office wearing suits, and they come. I still have the office from the gas station days. I just took JMH Oil off and put on, actually I got it right here. Took that sign off and I put on JMH Marketing, just removed the signs. I got a new business. Just changed the thing. So these 2 guys walk in my office and they're like, well, we're starting up a social media marketing agency here in San Diego. And you come up everywhere. You have all these Twitter followers. Every time we search internet marketing, your name's everywhere. And that's what I learned, attraction marketing, from all my friends years ago, Mike Dillard and all them. So I attracted them to me. Mm-hmm. So they asked me, come and work for this agency. And I couldn't believe I just looked at them deadpan. I go, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't work for people. Sure. I work for myself. And I said some version of that. And then I was like, did I just say that? You guys want to hire me? But I've never been hired before because I'm an entrepreneur. Right. So the one guy, David Turner, the company is called Parallel 6. If you want to research me. He goes, name your own pay, name your own title, name your own hours. Got my attention.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit more entrepreneurial.
Yeah, he saw the writing. So I said, I want to work 4 hours a day. I want $7,000 a month, and I want to be called a creative director. And they did all that, and they fired the 2 guys that they had in my position already. And then I was overseeing 28 accounts, and I had a whole team of people under me. And I was showing them landing pages, and back then the simple landing pages and sales funnels and email marketing and Twitter marketing and all this. And I had a team of people, and we were using all these projects, Basecamp and all Zoho. And I was, I'd meet with the client, I'd create a digital plan for them. My team would implement it. So for 3 years, I was pretty much running the agency, but I only worked 4 hours a day. And all the employees were like, why does Hickey just come in for 4 hours and then he comes in at 10 and leaves at 2 and we're working 9 to 5? They were like, well, because Hickey's the one who's devising the plan for all these clients. So we let him do what he does. So I'll move it along here. But so what happened was, it was, I can remember it, December 2010. And I was telling my mentor, and I always suggest anyone listening to find a coach or mentor above you that's done it before and help them guide you. So my coach or mentor is named Jay Kubizak. He was one of the partners at Carbon Copy Pro. I told him the story I told you. And he goes, let me get this right. So you're training 6 to 8 people how to do marketing, and for 28 different accounts, you have a team of people under you. And I go, yeah, I'm training. I have these classes. He goes, why don't you make a digital product about that? And then you could train people globally with that. Mm-hmm. I went, why didn't I think of that? Mm-hmm. And I didn't think of it. I was happy making my $7,000 a month. Maybe I wasn't thinking big enough. Yeah. So I literally 2 months later, I just went and I recorded all my training that I was doing for this company, and I put it on training products. I built a WordPress site. This is before all the great membership sites that are out there now. This is 2011. So in 2011, I created the Internet Marketing Training Center, and sold a ton. It was about 900,000 over a few years' time. So it was a pretty good sale. I wasn't all profit, sadly. There was marketing costs, but did pretty well with it. But then the industry started to change a little bit. Not many people were looking. And then the company Parallel 6, they started switching to mobile apps, which I learned a lot about mobile app marketing, mobile app downloads. Then they went to medical mobile apps. Then I was like, oh, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
Because I lost interest. I like what I was doing before. So I've been back out on my own for a while, working with businesses and startups and clients and, things like that. And then it was about 2019, and I started seeing all these feeds come up, learn digital marketing, and my feed, sponsored ads. I'm like, I was doing this, 8 years ago, So I went and I bought a few of their these courses that were out there, and I wanted to see what they were training. And I saw what they were training. I'm like, they are not up to date. They don't do what I do. They don't know what I know. So in end of 2019, I redid my course. Instead of Internet Marketing Training Center, called Digital Marketing Training Center. Mm-hmm. And then I've added some other side courses to it, how to become a consultant, and then also how to become a top influencer in your community. Mm-hmm. So that kind of gets you caught up to where I am today. Yeah. But it's been a fun ride. And one little nugget that I've get out of this is, or I can share with this, is when I was first 2007, 8, I remember being on in the crowd, and Jay and Aaron Parkinson, they were on stage talking, and they were like, everybody in this room, if you stick with this 5 years from now, you're going to be so far ahead of the next wave of people that come into this. Mm-hmm. And they were exactly right. It took me less than 5 years. Like 3 years into it, I was, running a digital marketing agency in 5 years. And now it's 13 years that I've been doing this. No other job. Everything is me. I have a team. I outsource a lot of work. I project manage. I don't want to become a big agency, because I saw what the agency was like when I worked with those guys for 3 months. Office politics, payroll, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, hell no. And then back in my gas station days, I had, 90 employees and overhead and payrolls and taxes. So I'm happy being an entrepreneur where I am now, selling my digital products, but I'm very deep into the game today, building websites, helping build some online courses, not at your level, but I've done some of that. And then that's kind of where I'm at. So a little bit of, I'm staying active in the community, but also have my up-to-date digital course. Yeah.
I love the part of your story where you kind of just let the doors open and you said yes. I mean, I think that's big with entrepreneurs. Like, that was something for me. I never thought, that I was going to start Grow Workspace when I did, but the door opened. I was like, oh, I can do this for a business. You're like, hey, I'm going to do this for my girlfriend. And then someone else says, hey, can you do it for me too? Oh, I could charge for this. That was like the exact thought that went into my head. And before you know it, you've started a business. So I love that you just were open-minded to it and were open to exploring that rather than, staying stuck in your ways. And then another thing that I noticed is that you just seem to kind of take action. Which I think is huge. And to be a successful entrepreneur, we have to just take action, even if we don't know exactly what it's going to look like and pan out to be. And it could be scary of, gosh, well, I've never, done marketing for 68 people, but I'm willing to, try it and learn along the way. So I think that's a super powerful lesson to learn. For sure. And then just the other point of, taking your knowledge and turning it into a digital course. And you said, oh, why didn't I think of that kind of thing? It's why, I've got a freebie out there that's, turn your knowledge into a profit or into passive income. And that's the whole reason and purpose behind it, because going through life and learning all of these things, you have knowledge that maybe other people have, but there's a lot of people that don't have it. So if you can take your knowledge and put it in a digital course, light bulb. Gosh, I could help people all over the world with my knowledge, not just the people in this office or in my local area. And so I think that's just super powerful now. And you mentioned, if you stick with it for 5 years, you'll be ahead in that wave. I mentioned this on a podcast I did recently, is that digital marketing course membership sites, they've been around for a little bit now. And I think there's a lot of people that are saying, geez, I wish I would have started mine early 2020. Did I miss the boat? And I talked about, no, you haven't missed the boat. Like, it is going to blow up. It's already getting big and popular, but it's going to blow up even more. So, invest in yourself. Like you said, invest in a coach and a mentor to help you bring that to fruition and create that. I think now is just as good a time as any, right? As opposed to waiting. Yeah. So much powerful information there. Yeah. Let's dive into, you mentioned becoming a top influencer. So let's talk about that. I think everyone listening is kind of like, well, yeah, I'd love to be a top influencer. I'd love to, be on social media and generating a lot of leads. So let's just dive into that topic a bit.
Okay. I'll tell you how that came about. So the last several years, I met this guy at a bar, actually. And I won't go the whole story, but it's very funny. Maybe another day I'll tell you over a cocktail, but it's a hilarious story. But he had a lead generation company, and he was creating courses. And then I had told him just what I had told you, that I was looking at these other things. I want to create another course. And he's like, James, he goes, there's a dime a dozen digital marketing courses. They're a dime a dozen, And I go, well, but mine's better quality. He's like, well, try to think of something different. And he goes, you're a top influencer in San Diego. Everybody knows you here. Why don't you create a course, the mentor thing, someone else. Mm-hmm. Why don't you create a course on how to become a top influencer? Like, what path did I get to get where I'm at now? Like, everyone knows me, San Diego, and, and honestly, when I travel to other cities and states, someone runs into me, yeah, you're James, or I know you from Instagram. I know you. So, it's great being noticed, but it's also when I go into maybe a party or an event or something, I see people oh, you're that internet guy. So it doesn't have to be an internet person. You could be a dentist or a doctor or chiropractor or dry cleaner or Pilates. And if you brand yourself as a top influencer at a high enough level, people know who you are when you walk in that room or you come in that space. So what I did was I created a 24 module course. It's really, they're 5 to 7 minutes long each, and it's step-by-step on what I did to get where I am now. And then there's some fun modules in there, like how to dress, smell, how you look, how to order drinks, and how not to wait in lines. So I don't wait in lines.
Oh, my husband doesn't wait in lines either.
Yeah.
we definitely grease the door guy every time.
I don't have to grease him with money. I walk up and I have some secret words that will get you past that door guy.
Yeah, for sure. And he certainly could too, and has it for. I think he just likes to take care of his people.
I do. And it's not, it could be like I said, like for example, I live in the gas lamp area downtown. There's a restaurant right below me, and I'm referring business to them all the time. Mm-hmm. So I make sure I know the GMs. So when the GM comes by, oh, did I send JD over? Oh yeah, he spent $1,000, bought really nice wine, and so I'm referring people to, to businesses, and it's not just bars and restaurants. It's all industries. Mm-hmm. So that's what I put together, and it's really something that it's like a blueprint, and you just got to follow the step by step. And that's where some people, they're like, oh, I'm just going to get into Instagram, and that's just going to be my cup of tea. But you're leaving a lot on the table if you're not on LinkedIn, and you're not on Pinterest, and you're not on Snapchat. Not so much. I mean, I play around with a little bit, and I'm not a big TikTok guy yet either. I've been fighting it. I know some people are using it for.
I don't use it.
I know it started out silly dances and all that stuff, but
Clubhouse now is big.
Yeah, I haven't really got in. I'm an Android PC guy, so I guess I thought I was on it. And I didn't know how to work it, but I didn't realize Android didn't really have a app. That's why I was like, this thing's stupid. I never really know what it was because I'm not an iPhone person. So
yeah, there's always something new, and I think that can be overwhelming in this space of feeling like you have to be on everything. And, if you don't really know, like I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not super active on LinkedIn. I never really got it. I wish I could. I should just hire someone to do my LinkedIn for me because I do know that it's a powerful
Yeah. There's a
platform.
lot. There's a lot of people on LinkedIn looking for your type of services.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can guarantee that. I'm pretty active on there. I think I have like 20,000 connections or 19,000 or something like that. So, but my suggestion on that is you don't have to, be active at high level on all these platforms, but you need a presence on all these platforms for multiple reasons. One is for your branding purpose. Like I was saying, my SD Entrepreneur is on all these, is my handle on almost every platform. But people, when they go to hire you and they check you out, they're going to do their due diligence. And if they go to one platform, they see you're active, and they go to LinkedIn, they go to Facebook, and they're like, it's not doing anything here. How active is this person? So it's part of a branding, and you never know where your next great lead or client's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be super active in these other platforms, but have a presence. And then there's all these social aggregating tools that you can post to one, and it will, ship out to, all these others, OnlyWire and a few other ones. So
Is
you don't
that
have to.
your favorite? Which ones are your favorite tools for that?
OnlyWire, Buffer, and of course Hootsuite. Then there's a really one's called Cloud Campaign. It's pretty expensive. It's more of agency style, but it's got all the bells and whistles. I love it. So those are the top four that I suggest using. So, you can create one video, and instead of you having to log into YouTube to post it, Facebook to post it, this to post it, Instagram it, you can just put it on one and it goes out to all.
Mm-hmm.
So that way.
Yeah. Have you found that, it's just as effective in terms of the reach that it gets when it's being shared through a third-party platform? Great question.
I think the reach is somewhat limited and each platform has their own look and language,
Mm-hmm.
So for example, Instagram's a lot of hashtags, and Twitter is too, but only 160 characters. And, so I don't suggest using those tools only to get your word and content out. But what I would do is say, if I wrote a blog post that wasn't a time sensitive one that could last a couple years, I wrote one a while ago, it was "We've Become a Hashtag World," and I wrote it like 8 years ago. And but that doesn't die. You could just recircle that, or you have a press release. You can put that into Buffer or Hootsuite or one of those and have it go out every 6 months. So, like I'm talking to you now and something's probably posting on my platforms. But if that's all you do, I don't feel you get a real effect. You've got to, choose one of these platforms that you like, one or two, and be more active on it. All I'm saying is don't ignore the others. And if you just use some aggregators to hit the other ones, because you can post to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Even if a Google business page allows posts now, Google Plus is gone, but so there's a lot of ways to get your content out, but I don't suggest only use an aggregator just for certain items and just so you have some type of presence on the other platforms without having to log in every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's an interesting point. And you mentioned, you said different words, but, with different platforms, different pictures, short text, long text, different things going on. So posting the same thing, it's like when you're on Instagram, and you say link in bio because you can't have clickable links in your message, and then you're just sharing it to Facebook. And so it's saying link in bio, but you could put the link right there to make it easy. It's different. So, so in those types of platforms, would you just set up, posts, you could just tweak it slightly to be what you wanted and schedule it.
And that's why Cloud Campaign is the one I like the best, because it knows I think it's $99 a month. So it's more than a lot of people are willing to pay for something like that, but time is money. And, and I could have a couple of my clients, because I do some social posting for a few clients still. So but I tell them what I'm doing. I'm like, hey, I want to take your posts and you still post regular. I want to fill in the gaps when you forget to post, but it's going to be automated. And so on Cloud Campaign, it'll say what you click on each one, and then it will shorten it up for Twitter, and it'll adjust it to fit all the platforms. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if Hootsuite or Buffer do that, but Cloud Campaign will make them look pretty on all the platforms without having you send it to one and then it looks, why this looks weird. You say link in bio and I'm on Facebook, or on LinkedIn. Why you tell me link in bio? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. And that's, time, like you said, time is money. And I always say you get what you pay for. So, if something is a lot more expensive, there's probably a reason why. And if it's making your life a whole lot easier, it's simplifying things, it's saving you time is valuable. So, not surprising that it is more. So, is it worth your investment or not? If you're just using two platforms and you can manage it right now, then maybe not yet. If you're just starting your business, if you're, really wanting to get things off the ground, you want to be on these different places because you have clients in all these spaces, it might be worth the investment to get in there. So I think that's great advice on that. A quick tip for someone who, they do want to get out there and be known for people, a quick tip for them on, maybe the first step to take.
Oh, on the top influencer part?
Yeah. If I'm like, I definitely want to be known, you got to figure out what you want to be known for first.
Right.
But once you figure that out, what is your recommendation for that next step?
Well, there's two parts of it. One is a little bit of a ground game. I know we're looking at a digital world here, but if you want to become a top influencer, you can't do it from sitting in this chair. You got to get out. Now things are opening back up. I just started a networking group myself. I've been attending for 15 years networking groups, somebody else's, and I just started SD Connect, and we had almost 50 people at our first event. But when I was on that, and I was the speaker, and then the rest of the event, everybody came up and talked to me. Oh, you started this company. You're this is your group. You did this. You started this. So my advice is if you want to do it, it's a ground game. So start a meetup group, host a happy hour for your potential clients, but you run it. You're the face of it, and put yourself out there. And then also a digital part, is start a podcast like you have, and use that as a way too. That's something I haven't done yet. I probably could, but I got enough going for me to start one. But I know I'm actually for 7 years, 2002 to 2009, I did an online radio show called San Diego Online Radio. And this is before the word podcast was even podcast. So I had 30,000 MySpace followers, and we were promoting events and nightlife and clubs, and so I kind of did the podcast before it was even a podcast. And I know it takes a lot of work to, find good quality and take the time and do the work. And I'm not afraid of work, but I would say for someone, start a podcast, start a meetup group, host an event. Trust me, people like for free food, and either put a little money out for free food and appetizers or drink specials, negotiate with the bar, invite people out, and then who's in charge? Who's the boss? You. And that's one start of it. And then people start to look at you as an authority. Mm-hmm. The other thing I regret about being a top influencer is everyone calls me, where's happy hour, James? Where should I go, James? Where's live music now? Where's the concerts? Can you get me into this place? Can you talk to someone? I'm like, so there is a downfall of it, that you of becoming popular as an influencer, is that people, but I take it as a compliment. Now, if someone is just, constantly, calling me, annoying me, I'm going to go, I can't help you. But for the most part, everyone knows that I know, and I'm a super connector. So it's not even bars or restaurants. You need a plumber, you need a mattress, you need a chiropractor. I know everyone. I will refer you to everyone. And then when you start doing that, then those people will start referring back to you. Mm-hmm. So you set up that pecking order or protocol or whatever we're working for, but you know what I mean? So. Yeah, no. Yeah. And I've heard I don't even remember who it was or what podcast it was on, but heard someone talk about the most popular kid in school. Who's the most popular kid in school? The
kid that becomes king or queen, what is the commonality between the most popular kids? And do you know what it was?
What?
It is that, and a lot of people say like, oh, they were good at sports, or, oh, you know, they were good looking, or it was that they were friends with they liked the most amount of people. You know, so if you think about it, it's like, yeah, they might have been the football star, but really the reality was that they liked people and they connected with people. And so then they connected with people in all different groups, which means all the groups voted for them, you know, to be homecoming king or not. So similarity in kind of what you're talking about, like, you know, a lot of people. You know, sounds like you want to become friends with a lot of people. And when you become friends with a lot of people know you. And then you become the go-to guy and they send people to you. So, you know, instead of kind of shutting people out and not wanting to expand your circle, now I think there is definitely a place for boundaries there. You know, I think after this, people are going to not give out their personal cell phone number. So like, I don't want to be like James and get called all the time. But meeting people, being open, you know, starting conversations. I know it's like can be an awkward thing, and, you know, can be a little bit scary when you're, you know, amongst people and then you're running the show. I think that's great advice, you know, to put yourself out there and be the one that is starting it, because you're right. And people look to you as the authority.
Follow the leader.
Yeah.
People follow leaders, and then people become leaders. I've seen people who followed me, but now they're doing their own thing. But it reminded me of something that the very opening, when I covered everything that I talked about, and then you reflected back a lot of what I said. But when I first made my change from the gas stations to selling the Carbon Copy Pro and then the real estate marketing, people come up to me, they're like, hey, you gotta get, what are you doing now? I'm like, internet marketing, you know, under my breath. I was like kind of embarrassed, like, cause I wasn't strong and proud of myself. And then soon after that, I think when I got the big real estate account and the other account, what do? I do internet marketing. You know, I'm a little cocky now, and I'm wearing a Blitzing on t-shirt. Actually, I have a YouTube t-shirt. I have Twitter. I have LinkedIn. I don't have Instagram. I have Google, and I have DuckDuckGo. So I got bored during the COVID thing, so I just started buying t-shirts related to my industry, and then I wear them when I do my training videos and things like that. And then I wear them in public, and people go, "Oh, you do marketing?" And I have one, I'd rather be marketing or gut marketing. I have not run a paid ad for myself in like 5 years. Everybody finds me through my social influencing effort. And then I cherry pick who I decide to work with. And that didn't just happen by accident. It's been the plan all along.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good place to be when you're able to, you know, turn down projects that don't really light you up, and know, you know, because there's the next one knocking on the door when you have to raise your prices because the wait list is getting longer and longer. You know, it's a good place to be for sure.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other final nuggets? You've got a free gift for us. We'll get to that. Any other little final nuggets that you want to share?
No, I think I threw a bunch of them out there as we were going. And I feel that, you know, this industry and what you're doing and some of what I'm doing it's really a lot of the mindset and the shifting of the mindset. And I liked what you were saying, I think maybe before we started talking, is there's a lot of people out there that are very knowledgeable in their space or industry, but they don't realize that they are. So, you know, when you can put something out there, you'd be surprised that how much you know more than that other person, and how much the other person wants to know what you have to offer. And you don't have to be the biggest and best, but over time you will grow and get into the space. But you also have to have the mindset of entrepreneur and not wanting to work for someone else. I thought it was one more quick thing, a little funny joke, because at one of the No Excuses summits, and I was one of the panel speakers, and it was here in San Diego, and all the guys kind of know me. There's like 600 or 800 people in the crowd. And then someone goes, they were asking everybody these great questions about like getting leads and doing that. And then they go to me, they're like, so James, what's your biggest reason or how do you like fight failure, or how do you keep going and how do you keep active? And then I thought for a second of saying some really cut response, but I just looked at them, the whole crowd, and I just said, I'm unemployable. There's no way I'm going to work for someone else and get the paycheck. So that's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
And that's, if you really want to do this at a high level, you need to start thinking that way and trusting that way. And it might not happen right away, but it will happen in steps, and you just got to keep going. And what you're doing, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not. And there's some that are out there, and you can do some affiliate marketing, might make some money, but in the long run, I'm set for life, on my career now. I'm in my mid 50s, so I got another 20 years of doing this. And then eventually, I'm going to have some, I might have like a online university, and then maybe turn that over to someone else, let the younger people take it over, but I'll be the brains, I'll be the face behind it. So things like that. So,
yeah.
But you've just got to think big. And if anyone's confused on who they are, where they are, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, you only need to read the first two or three chapters. I won't go into the rest of what the book's about, but it's an easy read. And trust me, if you want to change how you think and understand who you are, read that book.
Love that. Love that. So much great knowledge here. Yeah, all really good. So I'm going to have to re-listen to this episode once it gets published, because I always sit here with like the interview, and I'm trying to listen and trying to think like, what could I ask next? And then I always go back and I listen to my episodes, not to hear myself talk, but to listen to my guests. And now I can turn it on with the students' vision and take it in from the student's perspective and kind of really get all those nuggets. So I'm excited to just go back and listen as a student, on the other end, and really take this in again. And now I realize I have to invest in some social media posting tools. We've been back and forth. We've done different things, Hootsuite and various things. But I'm going to have to check out some of the other ones that you said. So thank you, James, so much. Let's share your gift with everyone. They'll be able to find that link in the show notes, but you can tell them about it, why they need to grab it, and then where they can find you.
Okay. To the link that, they'll be on the show here, as you said, but it's digitalmarketingtrainingcenter.net, not .com. I went to buy .com and it was $20,000 for the domain, and .net was $10. So I'm like, I'll be a .net and save $19,990. And it hasn't, so that's what my training center is built off of. But there's a link. You put your email address in, and you don't have to pay anything, and you can watch the 6 videos. They do focus a little bit more on brick and mortar businesses, but they will still apply to you, to anyone, to value. It'll bring you value. So that'll be one thing. And then I say this, put myself out there sometimes. If you want to find me, just Google me. Google, and James Hickey is a very popular name, believe it or not. There's a James Hickey on the news. There's a James Hickey pitching coach for the Houston Astros. And there's a Pope. But Google James Hickey, San Diego. I can see everybody like doing it. You go James Hickey, San Diego, and I should dominate that page, and you can find me there.
Cool. Awesome. And then on social media, your SD entrepreneur across the board.
Across the board.
Love it. Same for me. The Chrissy Chin. Chrissy Chin was already taken.
Yeah.
She's actually a bodybuilder. People will Google Chrissy Chin, and unfortunately she's the one that comes up. And it's funny because if I'm just on a voice call with someone, they were going to add me to this group, that mentoring group that I'm now in. And he goes, oh, okay. And I go, it's the white Chrissy Chin. He's like, okay, perfect. Yeah. So I'm the Chrissy Chin on everything, but I like the consistency.
I like it. You can emphasize the.
Right. The Chrissy Chin. Exactly. But I think, to your point, consistency across the board, search it on one platform, it's the same on the other. So it's not hard to miss. So love it. Awesome. So people can continue to connect with you. Well, James, thank you so much for being here, for sharing some of your knowledge. It's been a pleasure.
Great. Thanks for having me. Peace. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right.
Until next time, remember, done is better than perfect, my friend, and to channel your inner badass and take imperfect action every single day.